Ugh. Ugh. So disappointing. Honestly, I thought they had a killer instinct right now. They do. Let's be honest. They did it twice before, but not tonight, I guess. Just wasn't in the cards. Oh well. What are you gonna do, right? Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Ryan from Seaway Sports Lounge. This is my new next episode of Leafs Timeout Special Edition. This is my Leaf reaction to Game 5. This was supposed to be the game. This was supposed to be the one that finishes it off. This is supposed to be the one that does it. But of course, nope, not going to happen. Not tonight. This wasn't their game tonight. They just didn't produce. But anyway, of course, we're going to go through the game, go through all what happened, and of course, takeaways, and then my thoughts, and we'll go from there. So with that, let's just hop right into it. So the Leafs lost 4-2. They lost 4-2. It was a very, I don't know if I want to say a strange game, but it was just a very odd, I think an odd game. It was just it didn't have that, you had that feeling right at the end. I'm just sorry, guys. I'm out of like a bit of loss for words right now because I'm still processing what I just watched. Anyway, just Toronto just wasn't. It just didn't seem like they were in sync as much. I don't know, but anyway, Toronto was outshot 31-38 by Tampa. Tampa clearly had the edge again tonight. Penalties were they each got two aside. Many were missed. I'll be honest, many were missed hits. Toronto out hit them. They were outplaying them on that front. Block shots again. Toronto was trying to keep the score as close as it can because as I go through the scores, you'll find out. And Toronto had many more turnovers, as it says here on TSN. But if you watch the game, you can definitely see that the team was not playing very well. They were making all kinds of mistakes, all kinds of errors. It was a lot of error filled hockey, in my opinion, on a number of fronts. So 4-2. So here's what happened. So of course the game gets started. Everyone's energized. The entire city's energized. All the fan base is. We're ready to go. We have this hope that Toronto will come through and actually finish this team off. I mean, it looked good in terms of the energy from the last two games. I thought, okay, I'll buy into this. Maybe they can do it. Maybe they can close this out tonight. I honestly thought they would. That was what I thought, and I'm sure many did. Right off the start, 5:46, Morgan Riley gets a nice point shot again. He gets the puck, puts it right over his shoulder, over Vaz's shoulder. 1-0 Leafs. Like, okay, then it just gets the building going even more. It was like on cloud nine. And then right after that, I don't know what happened. They get the face off. They go right into Toronto's end, and Tampa does what Tampa does best. They just crash the net. They basically crashed the zone. They went straight for him, straight for Samsonov, and the defense basically bobbled it and couldn't control or contain that line. And Anthony Cirelli gets his third goal of the playoffs from Hagel and Perbix. That line was constant all night tonight. Hagel and Sorelli, they were on all night. Toronto had a hard time controlling them. They're gonna have to figure out something. That put it at 1-1. The game was pretty much a wash after that. It was back and forth. There were chances going back and forth. It was a good first period for both teams, in my opinion. They were really, really like not dominant. No one owned the period, but it was basically a trade-off from that. So second period came around, and this is the most bizarrest goal in this series so far. I don't know what happened here. Anyway, Michael Isamont went in off the left side. Samsonov has played very, very well in this series. Let's keep that in mind. First of all, he has kept Toronto in this series many games, and he has been the star. But on that goal, I'm not sure whether he thought the guy was doing something else. That's what was mentioned, what they thought was happening. Anyway, he gets the shot and he puts one right by him. And it was the weirdest goal I've seen Samsonov let in a very long time. And again, at a crucial moment. And we'll go into the takeaways later. But that put them up 2-1. Now, if you watch the game, Tampa was playing a very smothering in their own end game most of the game. It was a very, very tight checking, typical playoff Tampa playoff hockey game. It was not a lot of high chances. There wasn't a lot of danger chances in front of the net. Toronto actually had to was mostly in the perimeter a lot of the time. They couldn't break in. They didn't have those deep cycle in their own like in Tampa's end offensive chances. They didn't have much of that this game. They go up 2-1, and then that 2-1 goal seems to be like 5-1 now because lo and behold, Mr. Vasilevsky decides to wake up in this game. He played when Toronto did have offense. He was there. He was there. He kept them in the game just like Samsonov did. It was Vaz's turn to do it. He kept his team going because Toronto did have chances. I don't want to give it that Toronto wasn't in the game. They were there too. However, they just were, it just seemed like the lead was much larger than it was because Tampa was playing so well. And when they were doing that and Vaz was giving them the edge, they were able to play in Toronto's end a lot more. And that's what was happening. Period ends. And then after that, now before that, actually, Matthew Nyes ended up taking a shot to the leg, the back leg, and they thought he didn't look good. He skated off, and then they basically thought he could do it. He couldn't. He shook it off. Good news is, though, he came back. Giordano got a monster hit by Maroon at the very end of the period. And people thought, well, maybe Giordano might be hurt. But later in the third, he came back too. So that's good. I mean, I'm sure they're hurt still. They're not playing up to full steam. But anyway, so we go into the second period intermission. Sorry. Anyway, it just didn't seem to be going well for the Maple Leafs. Third period starts. Third period did not start well for Toronto. They were all over the place. They couldn't get organized. The power play was basically dead. It didn't work. They couldn't get anything going. And then not long after that, around 11:53, well, at 11:53, Nick Paul, Nick Paul of last year, he decides he puts the puck in the net right in front of the goalie again, right nearby of Samsonov. Defense had a hard time with him, and 3-1. Someone passed it out to him somehow, and he kicked it out to him, and he's put it in. That was it. Everyone was sprawling that, so 3-1. So now building's quiet. People are really having a tough time. I was having a hard time, be honest with you. I had a hard time. And then Toronto started to get going again. Third period, like the last two games. Their skates were moving, things were happening. All of a sudden, bang, Austin Matthews gets a quick goal, 3-2 from Tavares and Marner. It looked great. Building was re-energized. And then Toronto had to basically pull the goaltender for the bulk of the 5 minutes left in the game. And then on and off, they had to put him back in a little bit. But anyway, it looked like Toronto might tie this thing. Okay. And then at the very end of the game, 1955 went down the ice, and Killorn was right near the puck. Anyway, he just did a quick bounce in the puck, in the net, came over. That was it. So very anticlimactic to the game. It was just unfortunately it just didn't work out for Toronto tonight. And as I said, penalties were pretty light. Shots were Tampa 14, 11, and 13 to 9, 7, 15. So Toronto shot them in the third, but they were behind. So anyways, so my takeaways from all this. This is a game you should have won. Said this before. We've said this before in the Montreal series. We've said this in the Tampa series. I mean, it's easier for me to say this. I'm a fan. I don't play. Okay. I can say that. However, you had a 3-1 lead. You had two games that were completely, played underwhelmingly for the bulk of it. And then you turned it around and got the goals and won the games fair and square like that. Cool. This one you should have had. Now, to be fair, Vasilevsky woke up and played what Vasilevsky does best. This guy is an elimination goalie savior. This guy knows how to do it. We all know this. And tonight he didn't disappoint. The last few nights he's disappointed quite a bit for Tampa. Tonight was not the case. He did what he does best. Tampa played another really good game. That's another takeaway. Tampa played Tampa Bay hockey tonight. Toronto was running around a lot. They had chances and goals, like attempts, and they made Vasilevsky work. But it just felt like Tampa was the better team. Okay. But this is 3 games in a row now. 3 games where Toronto has played behind. They've looked like they've been playing behind almost half the game. Tampa's got control. It's a bad trend, and they need to stop it. Game 2, where they dominated, we haven't seen that team since. And that's because Victor Hedman's back as well. Let's not forget that when Victor Hedman was out, Toronto basically had the run of the whole defense core of Tampa. They just overwhelmed them, and they couldn't stop them. Well, now with Hedman back, yes, Chernak's not back yet, but you know what? Isamont's back. He's back. Tampa and Vaz is now playing well for this game. So my takeaway from that is Toronto obviously is going to have to make some changes a little bit. They had a winning formula to get it those 2 games, but the chasing game thing needs to stop. There's a lot of dump and chase. I don't see Toronto carrying the puck hardly at all in the net or in the end. I don't see it. It's very rare. Only maybe on a power play or when they're behind with the goalie out. You can't play that way, guys. You gotta dig in. Now, it's 3-2 now in the series. Let's they could win it on Saturday and it's over. It's done. And that's what I want. That's what we all want. That's that's what we need, okay? But it's that whole playoff failure, worrisome thing going on that's in all many Leaf fans, including myself. You start getting that doubt. You start wondering, are they going to do it? And you think like 3-2. You have two more chances to put this team away. You failed this time, but can you do it in their home? Now you took two from their home, and when you were down 4-1 and one 5-4. Like this is a game you can beat. My only worry is that Tampa may wake up and start showing what they can do. And that's my thing. I hope I'm wrong. I want to be wrong. I want Toronto to finish them off like I hope tonight. Didn't happen. We'll see what happens. The other thing is that I am not going to get upset about Samsonov. I was not pleased with the goal he let in, but that's the one goal. But again, that is a bit of the difference maker tonight. But the man's been our playoff champion this series. He has kept Toronto in because Toronto has played poorly at times and have not much control. And he's done some amazing saves and shut the door. So I am not going to get on his case at all. As for the Stars tonight, that's another takeaway for me. Matthews had one shot going into that third period. One. Now, he's had a great playoff so far. He's done well. Marner's done well. They've had their moments, and again, Vasilevsky kept them out. But one shot in going into the third. Now, he scored that 3-2. Great. I was ecstatic to see that. But we need more from Nylander. We need more from O'Reilly. We need more from Tavares in terms of when the play is normally going on. Not this dire straits hockey, which I hate. Like, you can't play that way. You have to dial in and play like that all the time or a large chunk of it. And they're not doing it. They're doing it in key moments when either they're down or they're in trouble. And that's not the way you win a series. We'll have to see what Saturday brings. I didn't want to go back to Tampa, but we're going back. I still believe that they're going to beat Tampa in this series. I think Toronto has played a great series against them. They are toe to toe with them. They are trying to, but Tampa is starting to show the signs that Tampa is starting to come around. And I hope Toronto can see that, which I'm sure they do, and they will finally put an end to this series and let's move on to the next round. But anyway, we're not going to get ahead of ourselves. But that's my reaction. It's a little off the wall reaction because I'm still not sure how I feel, but that's kind of what I get. Disappointment tonight, a little gutted, but anyway, we'll have to see. So anyway, thanks very much for watching. I hope you like this video. If you like what I'm doing, please hit the like or subscribe. If you want to see more from our channel, please hit the notification bell on the right. Anyway, thanks for watching. Till next time.